I want to go over a couple of things that I've heard leftists say online that just really either made me laugh or want to rip out my own hair. It's amazing the kind of things that they'll say in arguments, because it's either they are crazy people, which there's a lot of that, or they are sane and willfully deceptive. And I don't know which is more prevalent, honestly. I feel like it might be 50-50 among their ranks of people that are actually insane, or people that just go along with this and they will say some of the craziest shit to try and defend their positions. So there's a lot of debate as to whether or not this is even worthwhile to mix it up with these people online. I'll admit that I do it a lot, and I do it because I like it. It's fun listening to these people, and they're just wacky justifications for why they think the way they do. But I get the other side of that, that it really seems pointless at times, but I'm of the mind that it's not, because as long as these platforms are open, other people are going to be checking that out. And who knows, it might be dozens, might be hundreds of people if the original post is big enough. And if even one of those people is woken up or, comes into the fold, that's worth it. That's time well spent. So anyways, some of the things that I've heard recently. So one of them, I was talking with this young black guy who seemed pretty squared away. It didn't seem like he was, a thug or whatever. But you know how it goes. They just have this knee-jerk reaction to, defend each other no matter what. But he was trotting out that tired old argument that we've all heard a million times, that poverty causes crime. Because you're poor, that's why you commit crime, And they say that with just such certainty, despite there being no real solid evidence that that's the case. And in fact, a lot of counter evidence to that. A really good one, kind of a silver bullet, that I brought up was some work that had been published by the Red Elephants, which if you don't know who they are, go check them out. They're fantastic. And they were saying that the murder rate, I believe, not just violent crime, but specifically the murder rate, was higher in the inner city of Baltimore than it is in the favelas in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Now, that, in my mind, utterly destroys the idea that poverty causes crime, because there's just such a disparity in the economic status of those two places. One is, a third world country, literally, in Brazil, in the favelas specifically. And the other is in a first world country, Baltimore, and that city in particular receives millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of taxpayer dollars every year to try and keep it propped up. You wouldn't know that by walking around, because it's a complete nightmare hellscape, but yeah, it is the case that we funnel so much money into that inner city. It's ridiculous. But this guy made the point when I brought that up. He said, well, yeah, actually, I think the favelas are a little bit better off because Brazil has oil. I'm just like, what? Okay, wow, yeah, they've got oil. Do you think any of those people living in the favelas see any of that product, of that income that comes from that? Fuck no, they don't. Like, what an absurd thing to say. So that was a gem. Another one, somewhat on that topic, just about like black crime. A guy said that the reason why the violent crime rates in black neighborhoods are higher than they are in white neighborhoods is because there are more police in black neighborhoods, and if there were more police, or the same amount, I guess, of police in white neighborhoods, they would catch just as many criminals, and the rates would even themselves out, which is just so fundamentally dishonest. And I believe this guy truly believes that. I believe there's a lot of young black people that actually think like that. It's insane. It's like, no, the reason why there are more police in your neighborhoods is because you shoot people more, you steal more, you rape more, which that, I'm reminded now, the rape thing, the rape disparity in the crime statistics, is another silver bullet you can use against that bullshit poverty causes crime myth, because their rape rate is like all other crime. It's way disproportionately higher than any other racial category in the US. And you cannot convince a sane, honest person that poverty causes rape. Like, how do you make that leap in your head? Oh, I'm hungry, guess I better go rape. What? That's just, again, no honest person could ever be convinced of that. So that's another good one to bring up when you inevitably encounter that stupid poverty causes crime argument. And the last one I want to talk about, this is a little more recently. It's on the transgender issue. Strap in, it's going to get a little gross. But, and I gotta say as an aside, I don't know which group of people are more delusional and just utterly self-deceptive between like the pro-black crowd and the pro-tranny crowd. I don't know. I cannot figure out which one of them is worse by those metrics. They might be neck and neck. But anyways, I just made the obvious point that transgender or transition surgery, transitioning so-called, is the mutilation of what would normally be a healthy person. Like, this is totally uncontroversial. That's what it is. And some shitlib, which you know exactly what he looks like just by the fact that he takes these positions. They all look the same. It's just this effeminate waif of a man that probably wouldn't have survived childhood in saner times. But anyways, he said, oh, so he thought he's trying to roll out these string of gotchas, or what he thought was so fucking clever. And he says, oh, so you'll probably have a problem with, or wait, no, that's not what he would sound like. He'd sound something like, so you have like a problem with circumcision then? And I'm just like, yeah, I do. That should be outlawed as well. And? Oh, what about tattoos or piercings? And I was just like, I just had to kind of put a halt on it right then and there. I was just like, dude, I know what you're doing. You're trying to trap me in a gotcha. And you're doing that by equating getting a tattoo on your ankle to slicing your penis in half, sticking it inside of your body cavity, and then having to routinely dilate the hole because your body correctly identifies it as an open wound and attempts to heal it. Not to mention the insane drug regimen that goes into so-called hormone therapy that sterilizes you. Yeah, that's an equivalent to getting your ear pierced. It's just insane. I don't understand. I literally could not imagine being one of these people. They're so lost. And to convince yourself of that, I mean, how do you sleep at night? That's an overused question, but God damn it if it doesn't fit with these people. How do you sleep at night? Just being so fundamentally dishonest about nature and human life. So I don't know, this will probably be a series because like I said, I do this all the time. If you see me on my phone, that's probably what I'm doing. I'm probably getting into a tussle with shitlibs online. I love it. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But anyways, yeah, this is kind of a rambling free flow. I think that's what most of these videos are. But have a good day. I'm sorry if I put you off your lunch with that tranny talk, but you know, our enemies are dirty, disgusting people, and sometimes you gotta talk about dirty and disgusting things. So anyways, have a good one.